Yeah.
It'll be on the screen anyway. They're not going out.
You here for our service this morning, our all-age service, and it's really good that so many people are involved in this service today, so much so that you won't see very much of me today, which you might enjoy more actually. But a few notices as we start this service. So today is the second day of the Flower Festival and Gala in Ellington. So if you haven't been to see the flowers at Ellington Church, please do go and have a look. They're really, really lovely. And at 4:30 we will end that weekend with a service, a short service for about half an hour. This coming Wednesday we have Patricia Sledge's service of Thanksgiving at 2:30 here in this church. On Thursday we have tea and chat at Brampton Village Hall. That's 2:30 till 4:30. And here in Brampton we also have the Friendship Cafe. And what I'd like to say about the Friendship Cafe is it's running really, really well, but it'd be good to have more people there. So if you've not been, and actually could take someone with you also, it would be really good for you to go along. It's a great afternoon. There'll be tea and cake and just a nice time to socialise with one another. So please do come along. On the 8th of July, we will have a men's breakfast at David and Sylvia's house at number 3 Central Avenue, so on the Brampton Park estate. It will be at 8:30 in the morning on Saturday the 8th of July. David, I don't know if you want to stand up so people can just remind themselves of who you are. So if you haven't got that on your diary or calendar and would like to come along to this men's breakfast, then do have a chat to David after the service. That'd be great.
I'm the bacon butty man.
And apart from that, I think I can slip away after saying please do stand for our first two songs. Please stand.
So glad you Sit down now. If the children want to come to the front, and we're going to play a game. Yes, thank you, Jaden and Anna. I knew I could rely on you. Oh, yes, yes. So we're going to play a game. Now, the sides of the church are very uneven, I can see. People are favouring this side, so this side has to work a bit harder. So I'm going to split the children up, and some of you are going to represent this side, and some are going to represent this side. So Jaden, do you want to go over there? Take some team members. Anna, do you want to go over there as well? And then this side, because there's less people on this side. And what we're doing today is, the theme is being a living sacrifice. And it's all about how every day we can be a living sacrifice to God, just using what we have. And what do we have that's just at our fingertips is all of our senses. So our 5 senses are what we see, what we hear, what we say, what we touch. Have I missed one? Not what we say. Well, we'll learn the senses. I'll learn them as we go along as well. So you can sit down for now, and we're going to start off with smell. Did someone say smell? That was a good one. We're going to start off with sound, what we hear. So the aim of the game is we're going to play some sounds, and you're going to have to guess what the sound is. So we'll do one sound for this side, one sound for this side, and if children, I'll ask you, but if you don't know, you could go ask people that look very clever, sitting in the pews behind you, and see if they might know, and then come back to me with an answer. So, if we could have, the first sound is going to be for this side only, so if you're on this side, don't tell us. An aeroplane, do you reckon? Anyone want to be more specific, or are we just going aeroplane? A jet plane, yeah. A helicopter, maybe?
An aeroplane taking off?
Oh, taking off? Do you want to do the answer? It might come up with... I need to write down scores as well. So this can be side A. Is the answer coming? Should I... A jet. I think we got there with the jet. Well done. Okay, so your side A, you get a point. This side, are you ready for your sound? See what you hear. That's still the jet. That's not your sound. That's still the jet. This is your sound. An owl. What else do you think? Do you want to go ask, see if anyone else knows? What else? Oh, I heard someone say it's a pigeon! I did hear someone say that, so we'll go with a point. Right. Are you ready now? It's over to you, this side. What's the sound when the pigeons disappear?
They don't get a point for that.
Do you think not? Well, no, I'm sure I heard pigeons somewhere. This is quite competitive. We're still pigeon. Still the pigeon, yeah. What's this one? This is your sound. Oh, you think a pig? What do you think, Anna? A tiger? Jaden, what? A car? Right, none of you are right, so you need to go ask people. What does everyone else think? I'm not sure we can play it again. Have we got any idea? Shall we play the answer? It should come up on this. And it should come with the noise. Smooth running game. Do you know? It's like a cat. It's a cat purring. Right, this is your sound. What's this sound? A motorbike? Any other guesses? Neither of you are right. What? Let Jill know. A lawnmower. Shall we? You think a lawnmower? Yeah. Let's see what the answer is. Lawnmower. Well done. That's your team. Okay. Right. That's the end of Guess the Sound. You'll be glad to know. Now we're on to guess what it is. So now we're using our eyes, and I've got very close-up pictures. So we'll start on this side. Close-up pictures of something, and you've got to guess what it is. So the first picture is... Ooh, what do you think, Anna? What do you think? Pasta? What kind of pasta? Swirly pasta, maybe? Yes. Yeah, go on, Jason.
Spaghetti.
It might be spaghetti. Shall we have a look? Spaghetti! Well done. Right, next, this is for your side. What's your guess there? Still spaghetti, yeah. This one's a tricky one. And I actually wonder if you use these anymore at school. Have a look. A tunnel? Yes, a pencil sharpener. I'm impressed with that. I've lost that. You're a B, aren't you? Want to do the picture of a pencil sharpener? You can see the inside. Ta-da! The inside. Well done! I'm impressed with that. Right, the next one is for this side, Team A. Not quite an orange. Oh, what, a peach? No, not a peach. You're in kind of the right area. Go on to... Not an apricot. Look at the answer. Carrot! You didn't think of that one. And then one more is for your side. What's this one? Not quite. I know where you think of it. Not a pomegranate, no. Does anyone else in your team know? We don't use them as much now, do you guys know it? Shall we throw it over? Does anyone know it here? What do you think? Not honey? Wax. Not wax. We got it over here. Let's have a look. Look at the answer. It's a matchbox. Do you know what a matchbox is? Have you seen it? We always look like it. Aha. Oh, okay, you're in that too. Okay. Okay with that. Right, the next one is smell. Now we get interesting because I go in my bag. So, what have we got? We've got a hidden jar. Now I need some help. So you need to come and smell it, and then can you take it round to a few people? Ooh. Yep, it smells. So come on. And we'll do this side at the same time. So this one is yours. So you smell that and then take it around to your side. See if we've got any answers.
What is that?
You might. Did you smell it? Go back to the back.
Do you want to smell?
Have you got an answer?
I see.
Can you? Okay, have we got an answer or a few guesses? Is it still being passed around? Aniseed for this side. Any other guesses for this side? You have no idea. Might be salt. Okay. So what's the best guess on this side, do you think, Anna? Aniseed? Aniseed. Any other improvements on aniseed? You are pretty much there. Jada's going to do one more last thing. Right, so this side, can we put the answer up for this side? Toothpaste. Star anise, which is like, it's like, it's not really hard. It's like aniseed. I mean, I could give you half a point. I'm giving you half a point. It's star anise. Have you ever come across star anise before? They're like, it's a little star-shaped spice. You use it at Christmas. What's your best guess on this side? Oh, what? Cloves. Cloves and star anise. You've got the star anise. Which one shall we go for? We know that one was star anise, so shall we go for cloves? Cloves. Shall we have a look? Number 2 is... It's close, well done! Right, now we've got 2 more. I'll give you a clue with these ones, they're both herbs. So you can have number 3. And you can have number 4. Does Jaden want to take it? Do you want to take it round, Jaden? Yeah, do you want to take it? Vinegar. I mean, it's a herb, so something... Yeah. Go ask some people that look like cooks. He looks like they use herbs a lot. Go ask some people just... Or lettuce. I think you have to know your herbs actually for this.
Sage.
Sage.
No.
Have you got any guesses so far? We've got sage on this side. What do you think? What do you think, Jill, for yours? Sage. Okay, both think sage. Oregano. Okay. What number are you? Number 3.
Maybe in a barbecue. It might be in a barbecue. I don't think.
Or rosemary. Okay. So what's this side? What are we going to guess? We've had the guess of sage, oregano and rosemary. Which one do you think? It looks like rosemary, do you think? Okay, shall we put the answer for number 3 up? Oregano! So you did, someone got it on that team. I give you a point. Yeah. Have we got any guesses for the other team? Except for sage, we've had sage as a guess. What's everybody saying? Sage, we're going to go with sage. Shall we have a look at what the answer is for number 4? Basil. It's quite tricky, I think. Right, next one. So we've done the smell. Next one is exciting because we move on to taste. And I've got crisps. Yay! So, how to win, children. So you can take a crisp and then pass it down, and you've got to guess the flavour. Jaden, do you want to pass it round? You think you know what that is? You've got number 1. Do you reckon? You take a crisp and then pass it round. You've got to guess the flavour. Give it to your team. So this side, if you guess cheese and onion, is there any other differences? Yeah? You can eat that.
Also, have you given numbers?
What do you think?
Oh, yeah, she is the best to make sure.
You missed. What did you guess on your side? Salt and vinegar. It's very definite. Yeah. Have we got any variation on cheese and onion on this side, Stephen? Definitely cheese and onion. Okay, so number 1, we can put the answer up. Cheese and onion. Well done, yeah, cheese. And then this side, what we've got salt and vinegar. Everyone's in agreement. Okay, it's too easy. That was too easy. So don't worry, we've got more. So, can I take your cheese and onion? And I will. And then try that one and share that one round. And then number 4. and share it around. That's box number 4. The other one. Oh, is it good? Go over to the music people. Yes. Did you get one? What have you just given this one? You think it's prawn cocktail? We've got to guess the prawn cocktail for box number. Oh, did we get the answer for this one? Number 2 is, that's the first one. Salt and vinegar, so we got that one. Okay, salt and vinegar. So this box that's coming round, have we got guesses for this one on this side? What's everyone saying? Prawn cocktail. Shall we see the answer for number 3? I know that's number 3 is prawn cocktail. Well done. And number 4, have we got guesses for number 4? Ready salted. Let's look for number 4. Yes, well done. That was too easy, I think. We should go back to the smelling herbs. Right, and then the final one is, what's the final scent? So, can I take the quiz? Right, we've got socks, so it's very high tech here. And we're going to do feely things. So in here, you've got to feel and guess what's in the sock. So I've got to feel to work out which one is number 1. You've got number 1, have a feel, try and guess, and then take it wrong. Do you think you know what it is? You've got number 2. What's it? Number 1 is a sponge. Yes, well done. You've got that without trying. Let me put your points there. Have we got any guesses for number 2? Do you want another one now? You can try this one. I'll take the sponge so we don't get confused. That one might be more.
It is. It's like block.
Do you want to go ask some people, see if you could get help? What colour light? Do you want to do this one? That's number 4.
Oh, I know what this is. It's those fake candles.
Okay. What have we got here for a guess for number 2? And then a key. Yes, great. Number 2 is a key. And then for number 3, we've got a guess as a fake tea light. Yeah. Shall we have a look? Number 3 is a tea light. And then the number 4, so you have the key, and then what's the other one, do you think?
It feels like those peg. Oh, yeah.
Like a peg. Do you reckon a peg?
Oh, yeah.
Or do you want to?
Yeah.
Shall we put the answer for number 4 out? Oh, you've not tried number 4. Number 4 is a peg. Hey, well done. That was your tea light, and you got it right, so don't worry. So that's the end. We've done it. So the scores are, who do you think's leading? If I've managed the scores correctly in the chaos, Team A has got, because you had a half a point, this is where I'm stumbling, 7.5 points. Team B has got 10 points. Well done. And the game will make all sorts of sense as the service goes on. But now it's time for some more singing, so if you want to stand as you're able to.
with you. Please be seated. We're going to have our first reading now.
So here's what I want you to do, God helping you. Take your everyday, ordinary life, your sleeping, eating, going to work and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. Embracing what God does for you is the best thing you can do for him. Don't become so well adjusted to your culture that you fit into it without even thinking. Instead, fix your attention on God. You'll be changed from the inside out. Readily recognize what he wants from you and quickly respond to it. Unlike the culture around you, always dragging you down to its level of immaturity, God brings the best out of you, develops well-formed maturity in you. This is the word of the Lord.
Thanks be to God.
Is that it?
What?
Up here.
Oh, way up there, you mean it's you? Well, I guess it's a while since we've talked, so I have a bit of difficulty recognising your voice, really.
Yes, it has. How are you doing these days?
Oh, I've been so busy. How about you?
Well, I've been missing you a lot.
Anyway, is that it?
Is that it?
What?
What you put in the offering. Is that it?
Well, I just figured I might as well donate my loose change to a good cause. And that's all the coins I've got on me.
So, that's the best you can offer me?
Well, sorry. Oh, fine. I've got a £10 note here.
Your benevolence is overwhelming.
I'm sensing a little sarcasm.
Your money is not what I truly desire of you.
Well then, what do you want?
Oh, for years, people haven't got it.
Well, you know I attend church whenever I'm able to.
Yes, I'm aware that for my sake, you subject yourself to 75 minutes in my presence on Sunday mornings. Am I so boring? That's all you can give me each week?
You are twisting my words here. I didn't say you're boring.
That's what you meant, isn't it?
Is there still something more you want?
Yes.
All right. Let's say I set up a standing order every month to give you money regularly, and I come to church every Sunday, and I'll also start doing 5 minutes devotional every morning. Deal?
Oh, my child, you just don't get it.
I guess not.
I don't want your offerings if you give them grudgingly and just on the surface. It needs to go deeper. I've been telling people for years that their animal sacrifices and burdening vows are just not true worship. I desire obedience and mercy, a broken heart, humility, love, worship.
Could you be a bit more specific?
Well, there's a lot of stuff you've refused to give me. For example, I've been trying to send you hints for a long time that we need to work on taming your tongue a little. You've really been hurting a lot of people with that deadly thing. A little harmless gossip here and there, it can be very damaging. especially when you criticise Duncan, who I chose to lead this church.
Please, please, don't say that.
Judging my servants hurts me. Give your tongue to me. Let me teach it how to bring my joy and my glory to this world.
Hang on a minute. What happened to freedom of speech?
Well, let's have a look at your social life.
And what is wrong with my social life?
Well, I don't mind you enjoying a drink or two. After all, I change water into wine. But getting drunk and standing on the table of the Black Bull singing, "I did it my way."
You saw me doing that.
I see everything. You can trust me. I'm all-knowing and all-loving, you know, and I'd be honoured if you could surrender your time management and entertainment choices to me. You've been reading certain books and spending time watching some stuff on TV and looking at the internet, stuff that's bad for you. I have some better suggestions in that area.
So basically, you want to take over my whole life.
Yeah, we're getting somewhere.
Okay, okay. With all due respect, I mean, you are God. But some people might say you have an awful lot of nerve demanding that of a person.
What have I given you?
Well, there was that time I prayed for a job and actually got one. I suppose you could take credit for that if you like.
I've given you everything. The very gift of life. Every breath you breathe. I've saved you from death more times than you are aware. You've a family, a home, a car, food to eat, clothes on your back, everything of beauty you see, every loving friend in your life, every bird song you hear, every good and perfect gift comes from me.
Yeah, I suppose when I look at my life, I am truly blessed.
Wait, I haven't got to the best part yet. I asked for your life because I gave mine in exchange for it. Don't you remember? Can't you see? You see, I came down from heaven to live among a lost people who despise me, and I loved them anyway. I came to rescue them from Satan, who held them captive, even though they couldn't see it. I spent 33 years pouring every fibre of my being into my mission, and at the end of it, let them take my life in the most painful, agonizing way, even though billions of those I died for would never accept this way out. I did it for you. I love you. I want you to love me back. What I truly desire is your heart.
Okay, I see your point.
I want to be your best friend. But you're letting things come between us. Whatever you don't sacrifice to me will be used as a weapon to keep you in slavery. I am the Lord your God, who brought you to freedom, and you shall have no other gods before me. I paid the price for your life, and I'll transform it into a beautiful work of art. I love you just the way you are, but I love you too much to leave you that way. You can never pay me back for all I've done for you, but you would bring me the greatest joy by offering your whole self to me, mind, body and spirit, as a living sacrifice.
But is it going to hurt to do that? To give you my whole self?
Sometimes, but not as much as it will hurt you to keep holding on to it yourself.
I really don't know if I can do it. If I can give up all of it.
Trust me, my child.
All right. I know that you can be trusted. I'm yours.
Now, every week we say what we call the confession. But actually, all the confession is us taking time out to think how we've lived our lives and saying sorry to God for how we've lived our life. So I wonder if I could have a few children to come here and help me with this sorry prayer today. You won't have to do anything horrible or terrible. I just need you to help me. Thank you very much. If you stand here in a lovely line. So as we practice some things, can we put our hands on our ears? Can we do that? Can we put our hands over our mouths? Can we put our hands over our eyes? That's all we need to do. So when I sit in here, can you see hands on ears? So in the different bits of our prayers, we're going to encourage everybody in this room to do what it says in those brackets. So for the first prayer, it's going to be hands on our ears. So everybody, let's put our hands on our ears. So we are sorry when we are too busy to hear your voice. I have the next prayer. Hands over our mouths. So we are sorry when we deny that we know you. Father, forgive us. Hands on our head. We are sorry when we fill our heads with the thoughts of this world. Father, forgive us. Hands on our eyes. I can't do that and read. We are sorry when we do not see those around us who are hurting and need help. Father, forgive us. So our palms are here. So hands on our palms. So we are sorry when we do not do the work you have called us to do. Father, forgive us. Now, some of you might do this better than me. I can do it this way. So can you touch your toes? We are sorry when we do not follow you as closely as we could. So you can hold your toes. Father, forgive us. Now, you stand up again, and hands on your heart. We are sorry when we are not pure in heart. Father, forgive us.
A reading from Romans, chapter 12, verses 1 to 2. Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. This is your true and proper worship. Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and prove what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. This is the word of the Lord. Thanks be to God.
Thank you, Keith.
we're going to have another song, some sung worship now, the Creed. Amen. Please be seated. Well, it looks like there might be a double act about to happen at the front with Eleanor and I, so we'll give it a begin to take. I want to just start by telling you a couple of stories about two different people. So back in the 1920s, there was a chap called Easy Eddie. Easy Eddie was the solicitor or lawyer for a well-known mobster at that time called Capone. I don't know if some of you would have heard of him. So Capone wasn't a very nice chap. He was into prostitution and drugs, money laundering, weapons, all kinds of things. And Easy Eddie's job was to basically keep him out of prison, make sure that his accounts were on the straight and narrow, and he worked really hard and tirelessly for Capone. And as a result of that, he got lots of money, he got flash cars, houses, influence, and all of those kind of things that people in the world, I guess to some degree, we all aspire to. But for Easy Eddie, he didn't find it quite enough. There was one other thing in his life that was really important. That was his son. And for all of the wealth, etc., he couldn't give his son two things: a good example or a good name. So one day, Easy Eddie decided that actually that was more important to him, and he decided the only way he could set a good example to his son was to testify about Capone, and that's what he did. So he went to the police and he told them everything. And a few weeks later, his life ended in a blaze of bullets on a street in Chicago. So that's the first story, and the second story is about a different man called Butch O'Hare. Now, Butch O'Hare was a fighter pilot in World War II, and in his main area of operations was in the Pacific. And one day he was flying on a mission with the rest of his squadron, and he noticed that for some reason the technicians hadn't put enough fuel in his aeroplane. So he had no other option but to turn around and go back to the aircraft carrier. So as he was turning around, or he was flying back rather, he noticed that there was a Japanese squadron on the way to attack his aircraft carrier, but he was out of range of the radios, and he had a choice really. He could stay and fight, or he could run away. And what Butch did, was to use up all his bullets shooting down some of the planes, and once the bullets were finished, he started flying into these enemy aeroplanes, knocking off wings and tails, just with the wing of his own aircraft, before eventually that squadron flew off and decided to go and attack an easier target. And when Butch landed, the evidence of that was in the photos that were in the camera on the wings. Now, what makes these two stories kind of interesting and linked is that Butch O'Hare was the son of Easy Eddie, or Eddie O'Hare. So that action all those years ago obviously did have a consequence, if you like, on Butch, and did set him a good example. So why am I telling you that? Well, partly because I quite like the stories, and I know that some of you have got a background in aviation, but also I think sometimes we feel like a living sacrifice has to be some kind of grand, self-sacrificial, even suicidal thing that we're doing to please God or to live for God, when in fact that's not really what the Bible tells us. The passage that Keith read, Romans 12, speaks of a very different kind of sacrifice, and thankfully, in some ways, it's much more achievable. So I guess we all know that feeling of having to do something you'd rather not do. The children, perhaps, when the mum asks to pick up the toys and tidy up after them, or us, when we have to go and see some family member that actually you've heard all their stories before, and frankly, they can be slightly annoying. But we do it anyway. As parents, when at the end of the day, it's been a long day, you put the kids to bed and you've still got to go and tidy up or do the washing up or all those kind of things. So I'm sure we can all think of times when it feels like it's a sacrifice to do that, because we're giving up what we'd rather be doing. Now, in the Old Testament, the Israelites often made sacrifices to God, a different type of sacrifice. They would prepare a fire, find an animal that had to be clean and pure, and then kill it and burn it on the fire. It's called a sacrifice, and the death of the animal was how the Israelites asked God to forgive them for their sins. Obviously, it sounds quite strange to us. Not many people see animals being killed, let alone kill them themselves anymore. And of course, the reason we don't do that anymore is because Jesus died for our sins. Jesus was the ultimate sacrifice. Now, the verses we heard earlier come from the letter that Paul wrote to some Christians living in Rome. He tells the Christians to offer their bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and pleasing to God. He isn't telling us to find a sheep to sacrifice. Instead, he tells us to do something else, which is arguably much harder. He tells us to offer our bodies, our whole being, our life, everything as a sacrifice. A different translation, again, that Keith read, describes it as taking your everyday, ordinary life, sleeping, eating, going to work or school, and walking around life, and place it before God as an offering. So that's everything we do each day, isn't it? It's waking up, having breakfast, going to school or work, how we speak to people, how we do our homework or play with friends, all of those things. God asks us to do them in a way that would make him happy, that are pleasing to him. So I don't know about you, but I can often find things we do for other people fairly dull. Things like washing up, laundry, cooking, cleaning, all of those kind of things, even being at work. And maybe for the children, it's things like helping your parents lay or clear the table, tidying their bedrooms, sharing the last chocolates. But actually, if you take these jobs and things and tasks and consider them doing them in a way that's pleasing to God, then it totally changes our attitude, or at least it should do. When I realise that I'm loving God by looking after people and serving them, then suddenly I actually want to do some of these jobs, and it can even make them joyful. If we manage to live our lives like this, as though we're serving God, then our lives might end up looking quite different to the lives of everybody else around us. This is why Paul says, do not conform to the patterns of this world. And that simply means don't copy what everyone else is doing. I know as human beings we're very good at copying other people. My 2 children are very good at copying each other and things they see on the TV. There's a programme some of you might have seen called, I can't even remember what it's called, but it's got Ben and Holly in it. 2 little tyrants that run around the woods. And in a story quite recently, in fact it's called The Little Kingdom, one of them tells the old elf to stop being a silly old fool. And ever since that came on the TV in our house, I've been called a silly old fool in my house. And I apologise if any of you have been called a silly old fool by Anna or Eleanor. They're just copying what they've seen on the TV. But thankfully, they're actually quite good at copying each other's good habits as well, and that's more pleasing, obviously, to everyone. But it's clear to me how humans easily copy each other, and that's why Jesus often told stories about sheep. Sheep don't think too much about what they do, they just follow the sheep in front of them. And human beings can be very like sheep, just copying what everyone else does. But if we want to follow God wholeheartedly, we must be willing to do things differently. Paul says, do not conform to the patterns of the world. We don't need to be strange or fanatical or even particularly courageous. We just need to live life in a way that's completely shaped by our love for God and love for others. When people meet Jesus, their priorities change. When we experience God's love, then relationships become the most important thing in life. More important than anything else will be our relationship with God and our relationships with other people. God's love will affect every area of our life. It will affect how we treat people. We won't want to join in with teasing other people. Instead, we'll love them. It will affect how we treat our money. We won't just keep it to ourselves, but we'll want to share it with others. It will also affect how we spend our time. We won't want to do things that just make ourselves happy, but we'll start to think of others first. And if we go back to the verse we heard, Paul says we should offer our bodies as a sacrifice. So as well as time and money, we should give him our bodies. What does it look like to think of God in the things we listen to? Do the music or podcasts we listen to feed our soul with God's truth? What about our eyes? What do we watch on television? What books and magazines do we read? Are we watching things that are good and helpful to us? Or when we look at others, do we judge them by what they look like? Or do we try to look at their heart and love them as God's precious creation? What about our hands? Do we use them to take things, or do we use them to give? To serve others, to show kindness and love? And then there is our mouths. The words that we say are powerful. They are either powerful for good or powerful for evil. We can use words to bless people and build them up, or to hurt them and tear them down. Words are one of the simplest ways we can change somebody's day, even their life. Being a living sacrifice, living in a way that is pleasing to God, can be easier said than done, and it can feel hard to be different, to live in a way that's different to those around us. But the secret to being able to do it, and actually the only way we'll be able to do it, is to keep coming back to God. And this is why I've brought a sponge and some water. I think I read somewhere that we can be a bit like sponges sometimes. If we're not filled with water, we can be really quite dry, and it's hard work. And actually, trying to love other people in all sorts of different ways is quite difficult, and I'll get quite grumpy myself. But if you spend each morning soaking in God's love as a sponge soaks in water, sitting quietly in his presence, maybe reading the Bible, praying, then you get filled up with God's love in the same way that this gets filled up with water. And then God's love can pour out of me. It becomes a joy to love other people and to serve them, and it isn't hard work if each day you have the discipline to sit in God's presence and let his love flow into you. So the more we soak in God's love, the more our minds will be renewed, and the more we'll know how to be a living sacrifice. So, a living sacrifice, it doesn't have to be about flying your plane into an enemy squadron or going up against a mobster. In fact, both of those men died shortly after those grand gestures, so they couldn't really, truly be described as a living sacrifice. It's about being disciplined to soak in God's love and live in a way that brings glory and praise to God. Amen. So you'll be pleased to hear it's time for the final hymn, Be Thou My Vision, an absolute rebel rouser, and then we're going to have a blessing by Natalie. So please stand as you're able.
Say
the Father's hand keep us from stumbling. The footprints of Jesus give us confidence to follow. And the fire of the Spirit keep us warm and safe in our walk with God this week. Amen.
Go in peace to love and serve the Lord.
In the name of Christ. Amen.